Integrator Media is at AI Everything Global 2025 with Dr. Akram Awad, Managing Director and Partner at BCG. How's the event going on so far?
It's fantastic, actually. Thank you for hosting me. I think the energy here is really amazing, and it's really great to see all of these stakeholders from different sectors, from the private sector and also from public sector, getting together to explore not just the potential of AI, but how they can translate that potential into real value in the individual sectors.
Sure, it's very nice to see everybody here. So I'd like to discuss the Middle East, particularly the UAE and Saudi Arabia has seen a significant rise in STEM talent mobility. So I'd like to ask you what makes these countries attractive destinations for AI and tech professionals?
Indeed, we recently conducted a study in which we found that both UAE and KSA are actually doing fantastic and leading in many aspects when it comes to attracting not just STEM talents globally, but also AI talents, and also retaining them. And I think both countries have just the right reasons to claim that leadership. In general, quality of life has been a predominant factor and a key factor in attracting talent, especially in cities such as Dubai and Abu Dhabi. But on top of that, I think having also the right flexible regulatory framework that would encourage the entrepreneurs and the innovators to come and explore what can be done and translate their ideas and their dreams into real value is very important. The openness as well of the public sector to open business opportunities and collaborate with the private sector has also been key to kind of bring tangible economic opportunity for those who want to come and create in AI. Having the right infrastructure, for example, high performance computing, cloud computing within the country, was also a key factor to ensure that all of these innovators and talents have access to the right technology to allow them not just to innovate, but to also build and scale their businesses around AI, not just serving the local need, but also using the UAE and KSA as hubs for regional and global expansion for their AI products and services.
That was very insightful. Moving on, global AI spending is projected to double to $632 billion by 2028. Yet many economies struggle with ecosystem participation and R&D capabilities. So I'd like to ask you, what steps should the GCC take to strengthen its AI research?
Yeah. I think in general, many of or at least some of the Middle East countries have been doing the right thing by ensuring that everything that they do in AI, including innovation and R&D, is driven by key sectorial priorities that are aligned with their national priorities as part of their national AI strategies. Many other countries, I think, should follow suit and should identify really what truly matters for them. It's also very important to complete the regulatory framework to ensure that AI, for example, requires data. And this data requires certainty, requires the right collaboration and the right sharing across the different stakeholders, and that certainly would advance and accelerate the journey of AI. It's also, it's very important to link all the R&D and innovations with those who are actually going to spend and use those users. So having basically bridging that collaboration between the public and the private sector becomes important to advance meaningful innovation and R&D in AI beyond just the foundational experimental part of AI. So all of these are the right thing. Now, another key important is to ensure that we localize AI to the specific needs and the specific context, be it the language context, for example, advancing Arabic language technologies, but also cultural context by ensuring that we don't have certain biases towards certain culture or certain segment society, especially in parts of the world where it's truly multinational, where we're hosting tens and hundreds of nationalities. And it's very important to make sure that whatever AI produce, for it to work and scale, that is actually inclusive of that diverse background of people and consumers.
So Dr. Akram, only 5 economies globally have achieved AI pioneer status, but the GCC is rapidly emerging as the next frontier of AI innovation. So I'd like to know what unique strengths position the UAE and Saudi Arabia as rising contenders in the AI space.
I think both countries have really been doing a fantastic job, as I mentioned, around building the right blocks, be it about having the right ambition, working very hard on the talent aspect, the regulatory frameworks, pouring the right investments both locally and investing strategically across the value chain, driving the R&D and building the ecosystem. It's really going to be about pushing to the right critical mass across basically some of these areas. For example, on talent, we mentioned earlier there is a lot of advancements. There is about 36% of growth in talent of AI in UAE from 2022 until today, but we are yet to get to the critical mass to be really influential and visible more impactfully globally. The same thing when it comes to data center and high performance computing. Yes, there are many initiatives happening in that space, several investments to expand what we call the gigawatt capacity of data centers and high performance computing. And the next 2 to 3 years are going to be important to see the result of all of these initiatives and translate them into accessible capacity for the ecosystem, but also for the rest of the world, to establish this part of the world as a hub for high performance computing and data centers and become a global pioneer in this space. There are certainly some elements that needs to be done when it comes to pushing the regulations further, especially building on the successful examples in both countries, and in particular in the UAE, when it comes to bringing that flexibility and experimentation in regulation by having regulatory sandboxes. We've done that for other technologies in the past, and I think we need to do more of that to basically explore and collaborate with the private sector what needs to be regulated, to bring that certainty, that umbrella of regulations to advance innovative but also responsible AI in the region.
Yeah, so the next couple of years are really important, as
Indeed.
you said.
Yeah.
So one last question for you. As AI regulations continue to evolve globally, do you foresee a convergence of policies, or will fragmentation remain a challenge? And how can the GCC navigate these complexities to maintain its competitive edge?
I think we've seen in the past couple of years a lot of momentum when it comes to regulating AI and getting some sort of kind of common denominator to align on AI guardrails and AI ethics from different parts of the world. We've seen some of that being driven by United Nations, by some other agencies, by some multilateral organizations such as OECD, or even by individual countries. Will that converge into a unified regulation? I think that will face many challenges. We're yet to basically see the real success for that. The United Nations have recently introduced the Global AI Convention and invited both countries and companies to sign up to this convention. But again, the success of how this can truly be enforced is yet to be seen. I think some specific domain-focused regulation and standardization will probably see the light earlier, such as focusing, on standardizing AI in healthcare, or for applications in sensitive aspects such as security, etc. The GCC is just in the right place to drive a truly global dialogue in this space. When it comes to the advancements of innovation, when it comes to having a balanced geopolitical position, will make some of the GCC countries, such as United Arab Emirates and KSA, just in the right place to bring all of these stakeholders together, again, in terms of countries, but also in terms of technology companies, to discuss the best way forward. As long as we agree on common guardrails to avoid harmful applications of AI and advanced collaboration on AI for the good of humanity, I think there is a lot that can be done in this space.